The great hall of the Galactic Council was quiet too quiet. Normally, this chamber buzzed with voices from every known species in the galaxy. Diplomats debated, leaders gave speeches. Translators worked non-stop to keep up. But today, something was wrong. One seat at the long round table remained empty. It wasn't just any seat, that it was Earth's. The humans. They had not sent anyone to today's emergency meeting, and that made the entire council nervous. Every species noticed the absence, even the ones who didn't like humans. A young alien named Darrow sat near the back of the hall. He was new, just a junior assistant to his planet's ambassador. But even he could feel it in his bones. Something had changed. "They're always on time," whispered an old Plarian diplomat. "Humans don't miss council meetings." Darrow looked around. He remembered the last meeting just 2 cycles ago. Back then, the humans had spoken clearly. "If you keep ignoring the Zarnak threat," the human envoy had warned, "we will act, with or without you." Most of the council had left. The Zarnak were far from the core systems. Let Earth worry about them, many thought, but now things were different. The Zarnak had not only attacked border colonies, they had wiped them out, and not just human colonies, many others. Entire cities burned, signals lost, no survivors. Every time it was fast and brutal. And now Earth was silent, a silence louder than any speech. Chairperson Grohl, the leader of the council, stood up. "We begin this emergency session. We must address the rising danger from the Zarnak. But first, where is the human delegation?" No one answered. The seat remained empty, clean, waiting. "Have they sent any message?" Grohl asked again, clearly uncomfortable. One of the assistants checked the long-range relay station. "Nothing from Earth, Chairperson. No message, no contact. They've blocked all channels." Gasps echoed across the hall. Even the warlike Yek warriors exchanged glances. Earth had cut communication? That had never happened before. Darrow leaned toward his mentor, an old ambassador named Kel. "Sir, what does this mean?" Kel whispered back, "It means we're in deep trouble. When humans speak, they offer a chance. When they go silent, they're preparing something." Darrow swallowed hard. It felt cold, even though the temperature in the hall was always the same. The council began arguing. Some wanted to send envoys to Earth. Others said Earth was acting selfish. A few claimed the humans were cowards, hiding when it was time to act. But Darrow knew better. He remembered studying human history. Their world was a death world, a planet where survival was hard from the start. They had gone through endless wars, disasters, famines. Yet they rose. They were dangerous. But they always gave warnings first, and they had warned the council last time. Suddenly, a screen lit up at the center of the hall. A message from Earth. Everyone went silent. The message had no sound, just white letters on a black screen. "We warned you. You laughed. Now we're done talking." That was all. The screen went dark. No signature. No voice. No face. Just silence. The entire council chamber froze. No one knew what to say. Not even Grohl. Darrow felt like something heavy had fallen on his chest. Kel stood slowly. "It has begun." "What has?" Darrow asked, his voice shaking. "The human's second language," Kel said softly. "Their actions." As the meeting ended, in confusion, Darrow walked past Earth's empty seat. He paused and looked at the silver plaque below the chair. Humanity's Sol system still shining, still cold, but no one sat there. And the galaxy felt smaller because of it. The council chamber remained quiet even after most species had left. The message from Earth still echoed in everyone's mind. "We're done talking." That short sentence had shaken hundreds of worlds. Darrow couldn't stop thinking about it. He sat in a small chamber beside his mentor Kel, eyes on a digital map of the galaxy. Red marks flashed along the outer sectors, areas where colonies had gone dark. The Zarnik were advancing, but it wasn't the Zarnik that scared the Council. No, it was the silence from Earth. Kel paced the room. They warned us, gave us a chance, and we ignored it. Darrow nodded slowly. Do you think they're preparing for war? Kel stopped. No, Darrow, they're already in it. In the larger council hall, Chairperson Grohl called an emergency strategy session. The room filled with only the most powerful species, now the leaders of empires and alliances. But Earth's seat was still empty. Always empty now. Grohl stood in front of a giant holoprojection. The Zarnak are using stealth tech. Their attacks are precise. Our fleets are too slow to respond. We need Earth support. An insectoid admiral clicked her mandibles. Earth does not answer our calls. They have gone dark. If they are planning a strike, we must stop them. Another alien, tall and red-skinned, growled. Stop them? Have you forgotten what they are? The room grew tense. What do you mean? Grohl asked. They are Deathworlders. Their instincts are built for survival. They don't fight to win. They fight to end threats. Darrow listened from the side. Every word felt heavier than the last dot. The screen showed new data. Zarnak fleets destroyed in remote sectors. But no council ships were there. Then who did it? The only answer, humans. No messages, no broadcasts. No proof, only wreckage. Back in private, Kel sat with Darrow and handed him a data crystal. What's this? Darrow asked. Human history, Kel replied. The parts we were told to ignore. Darrow plugged it into his reader. Images flashed ancient Earth wars, starship battles, broken cities, and rebuilt empires. Humans had survived everything. Civil. Wars, machine uprisings, alien invasions, even plague events that wiped out half their kind. But they always came back stronger. They speak peace, Cal said. But when they stop speaking, they become something else. Darrow paused at one. Image. A single human ship holding back an entire fleet alone. Why didn't the council listen? He asked. El sighed. Because they looked human, but forgot they are not like us. That night, a new message arrived, but not from Earth. It came from a far-off station, close to Zarnak territory. A deep space probe had recorded footage. Screen flickered on. A single Terran warship, a sleek black cruiser, appeared above a burning planet. It moved in complete silence. No shields. No escorts. Just one. The Zarnak fleet attacked. A dozen ships. But within 20 seconds, they were gone. Not destroyed. Erased. That the Terran ship disappeared just as fast as it came. No calls. No explanation. Just a single symbol left behind, burned into the surface of the planet. We warned you. The council viewed the footage in horror. Some called it a declaration of war. Others said it was Earth's way of defending the helpless. Grohl raised his voice. Whatever Earth is doing, they are no longer listening. That should terrify all of us. But before anyone could respond, another message came in. From Earth's outer gates, every transmission tower was shut down. All trade routes locked. No ships allowed in. No ships leaving. Earth had closed itself off. Darrow stared out the window of his quarters, watching stars blink silently in the distance. Do you think we can fix this? He asked Kel. Kel shook his head. Fix what? We had a chance. Earth gave us a seat at their table. Now they've left. Darrow swallowed. Then, what happens next? Kel looked at the stars too. Now we find out what humans do when they stop using words. Deep in space, near the edge of the Zarnak-controlled region, A small mining colony sent out a distress signal. Then it went silent. No emergency beacon. No escape pods. No survivors. Just silence. The council didn't even have time to respond before. Another world fell. Then another. And another. The Zarnik were moving fast. Too fast. But something else was happening. Something even faster than the Zarnik. Ships, Zarnik warships, were vanishing in empty space. Not attacked. Not disabled. Gone. No. Wreckage. No radio chatter. No energy spikes. Just nothing. The council called an emergency surveillance probe to investigate the area near Sector 9, close to the last known Earth fleet coordinates. In a dark command room, Darrow and Kell watched the live feed with a group of diplomats. The camera picked up only stars at first, and out of the darkness, a shadow appeared. It wasn't a fleet. It was a single SHIP CK Angular. Silent. No ID code. No beacon. Just one Terran warship drifting alone near the Zarnik front. The ship's name flashed across the scanner. TSS Black Vaucal leaned forward. It's not part of any fleet listed in council records. The camera zoomed closer. The hull had no markings. Only a small white sentence was painted on its side. We don't need permission. Darrow's hands shook. They're acting alone. Kell nodded. That ship is not here for diplomacy. Suddenly, 10 Zarnak vessels entered the area. Huge, armored, designed for full-scale planetary destruction. The Black Vow didn't run. It didn't even move. The Zarnak opened fire. Dozens of plasma blasts lit up the stars. For a moment, the screen went static. Then clarity returned. The Black Vow was still there. Alone. Untouched. The Zarnak ships were gone. Not a single piece of debris remained. Gasps filled the room. One council official whispered, "What kind of weapon?" Kell answered, "No, this is not just a weapon. This is a message." Darrow whispered, "Why only one ship?" Kell's voice was low. "Because one is enough." Back on council worlds, panic began to spread. Was Earth declaring war? Or was Earth cleansing the mistakes the council had refused to fix? Theories exploded across communication networks. Some believed Earth had built a stealth fleet. Others said the Terrans had discovered a new form of warfare, something beyond what any species could understand. But Earth said nothing. Not a word. No explanations. No demands. Just more silence. And the Black Vow kept moving. Alone, on one broken world near the Zarnik line, survivors reported something strange. After the Zarnik fled, a single human appeared wearing black armor, unmarked, face covered. He didn't speak. He only gave the wounded medical kits and clean water. Then, before leaving, he dropped a small black flag on the ground. On it, a single symbol, and beneath it, 2 words, "Never again." The council's strongest warriors now hesitated to leave their home systems. All diplomatic missions to Earth were canceled. Earth was unreachable, untouchable. And yet, its presence was felt everywhere. Entire fleets began pulling back. Fear had returned to the stars, not because of the XARNAK, not because of the humans. And they hadn't even spoken. That night, Darrow looked up from his tablet as Kell entered the room. More. Zarnik ships vanished, Darrow said. No sign of battle. Just empty space. Kell sat down slowly. This is what happens when you make Deathworlders feel unheard. Darrow leaned forward. Then what happens when they're angry? Kell replied, "I think we're about to find out." Asterisk, the Galactic Council Hall, had never been louder. Voices shouted across the room. Delegates from every corner of the galaxy argued, panicked, and blamed each other. Old enemies pointed fingers. Old friends avoided eye contact. The fear was real. Now, but it wasn't the Zarnik they feared anymore. It was Earth. And worse. It was what? Earth had become in silence. Chairperson Grohl slammed his heavy staff on the floor. Order. This is a council emergency session. If we don't unite now, everything will collapse. A tall, blue-skinned diplomat stood. Earth is acting outside the laws of the council. They must be stopped. Another shouted back. They tried to warn us. We laughed at them. This is our fault. One of the insectoid generals hissed, they are using forbidden stealth weapons that violates the Galactic Defense Pact. Kel, standing beside Darrow near the side walls, shook his head. They don't care about our pacts anymore. Darrow whispered, what happens if we force Earth to return? Kel didn't answer. Instead, he watched the empty seat again, not always empty, not always silent. And now, the most powerful seat in the room. Suddenly, the lights flickered. A council technician gasped. Incoming encrypted signal, not from Earth, from the outer sectors. A large screen lit up. Survivors of a Zarnak siege appeared. Broken buildings behind them. Smoke. Blood. But their eyes were wide. Not with fear, with shock. One of the aliens spoke directly into the camera. The humans came. Gasps. They said nothing. No flag. No warnings. Just fire from the sky. The Zarnak, they ran. They ran in fear. The message ended. A second one followed. Another species. One that had once voted against. Earth's warnings stood beside a half-destroyed temple. They saved us, the priest said. They didn't wait for permission. They just came. Back. In the council hall, everything changed. Some voices softened. Others grew louder. They're playing judge and executioner, one shouted. They're protecting those we wouldn't. Another answered. Chairperson Grohl turned to the council. We must send envoys. If we speak with Earth, perhaps we can bring them back to the table. But a soft voice replied from the side chamber. It was the elder of the Vuni species. Oldest diplomat alive. You don't bring humans back, she said. They return only when they choose to. Darrow and Kel walked through the glass corridors of the council station. Stars glowing outside. Darrow was quiet. Kel asked, You're thinking of going, aren't you? Darrow nodded. If no one else will talk to Earth, I will try. Kel handed him a small badge. It had no council mark, only Earth's flag. Then go without pride. Speak not as a council member, but as someone who still believes they'll listen. Back in his quarters, Darrow packed light. He prepared an old diplomatic shuttle and set coordinates for Earth. But just as he launched, a final report came through the station's emergency feed that another Zarnak fleet, this one huge, had entered. Neutral space. But before the council could respond, the Zarnak ships vanished. No battle. No survivors. Only one signal left behind in the void. A voice message, human voice. Calm. Cold. The table was your chance. Darrow stared at the stars in front of him as his shuttle moved quietly toward the Sol system. The war had already begun, but it was not the war they expected. It was Earth's judgment, and no one, not even the stars, were safe from it. Asterisk. In the days that followed, no new meetings were held at the Galactic Council. What was the point? Earth was gone, not destroyed, just absent, and that absence was louder than war. Across every major council world, news of the Black Vow and its silent destruction of Zarnak fleets spread like wildfire. The ship had never sent a single warning. It moved like a ghost. It appeared, destroyed, and vanished without a trace. But now, it wasn't alone. New sightings began pouring in. One in Sector -5. Another near the old Tlarn Empire. And one, too, close to the council itself. Dozens of unmarked Terran ships, all silent, all lethal. But no messages. No calls. Just symbols burned into the ground of liberated worlds. We warned you. Darrow's shuttle finally approached Earth's outer system. But Earth's gates had changed. Instead of satellites and trade beacons, the Sol system was surrounded by Black Tower's defense stations shaped like spears, pointed outward. He tried to hail them. Nothing. He tried again. Still silence. Then something clicked. A voice came through. Human. Female. Flat tone. State your intent. Darrow swallowed. I come to speak. On behalf of peace. On behalf of understanding. A pause. There is no counsel. There is only consequence. His voice trembled. Please. I seek only words. The voice replied. And enter alone. Earth was darker now. Not in light, but in mood. Once warm and welcoming, its orbit now looked cold, guarded. Darrow's shuttle landed on a small station above Earth's surface. Waiting for him was a single human woman in plain black uniform. No rank, no name. She led him silently through the station. No one else was visible. Finally, she stopped outside a room. You want to talk, she said, still calm. So talk. Darrow stepped inside. The room was plain. A table, 2 chairs, a screen. On the wall, he sat, hands shaking slightly. I've come to ask, why did you leave? The screen flickered on. A male Terran officer appeared, sitting in shadow. His voice was deep, calm, but not kind. We warned you. We asked you to act. You mocked us. Darrow nodded. Yes, that was wrong. But many species are afraid of you. Now, the officer leaned forward slightly. Good. Darrow tried to stay steady. He had spoken with warlords and tyrants in the past. But this felt different. This wasn't anger. This was disappointment turned into precision. You've destroyed Zarek fleets, Darrow said. But why not say anything? Why no contact? The officer replied, words were your language. Silence is ours. Back in the galaxy, chaos grew. Council leaders begged Earth to return. But Earth said nothing, not even to the species it once protected. Some systems began to follow Earth's example, cutting ties with the Council, asking to join the Terran Alliance. But no reply came. Only one message was ever sent back to those who begged for help. Were you with us when it mattered? Darrow returned to his shuttle a day later. He hadn't been hurt, but he hadn't been heard either. The silence had become the final answer. As he left Earth's orbit, he turned to look at the once blue planet glowing in the distance. Still beautiful. Still strong, but different now. A sleeping giant fully awake. When Darrow returned to Council space, he was met with silence. The once proud chambers were nearly empty. Many species had fled. Others had gone quiet. The Council wasn't destroyed by war. It was destroyed by its own failure to listen. And Earth didn't need to raise a flag of conquest. It just walked away. And when it did, the stars fell silent with it. The galaxy had changed. Not because of an invasion, not because of a war, but because Earth stopped talking. And when Earth walked away from the galactic table, something else walked in. Silence. Once, the Galactic Council had been a symbol of unity. A round table where every species had a voice. A place where peace was shaped and protected. Now, the chambers were empty. The great banners had been taken down. Star maps flickered in the dark. And the silver nameplate reading Humanity's Sol system still sat untouched like a ghost from a time when words had meaning. But no one dared sit in that chair anymore. They feared what it meant. Across the stars, Terran fleets moved quietly. They never declared war. They didn't respond to politics. They only acted where no one else would. A pirate base slaughtering civilians? Gone in a blink. XARNAK colonies planning a siege? Silenced in the dark. Worlds on the edge, once forgotten by the Council, now found protection ships overhead, silent, black armored, and impossible to contact. Earth didn't ask for trust, it simply took responsibility. On a distant moon, Darrow stood outside a refugee center. Children played behind him, alien children from 3 species the Council had abandoned when the Zarnak attacked. But humans had come, not with flags, not with speeches, just help, food, medicine, shelter, quiet kindness. A Terran medic stood at the gate, holding a datapad. No words, just doing her job. Darrow approached her. "Why?" he asked softly. "Why still help us, after everything?" She finally looked at him. Her eyes were tired, but not cruel. "Because not helping would make us like them." Then she turned and walked away. The Terran alliance was no longer a rumor, it was real. Species that once laughed at Earth now begged to join. But the process was different. Now, no votes. No long debates. Only one question was asked. Did you stand with us before the silence? If the answer was no, the door stayed closed. Kel, now retired from the Council, sat beside Darrow watching the stars. "Do you miss the old Council?" Darrow asked. Kel smiled sadly. "I miss what it could have been." "Do you think Earth will ever come back?" Kel shook his head. "Earth never left, Darrow. They just stopped pretending we were equals." Darrow looked out at the stars. Dozens of Terran ships patrolled sectors once lawless and forgotten. The galaxy feared Earth's anger. Darrow whispered. Kel added, "But now it fears Earth's absence even more." Back on Earth, no celebrations were held. No speeches. Broadcast. Terrans returned to their farms, their families, their research labs. They had simply removed the weight of fools from their shoulders. And with that freedom, they had done what the Council could not. One final message was found years later, hidden deep in Council records. It was never sent, just written by a human diplomat before Earth walked away. "We came in peace. We offered wisdom, warning, and friendship. But you did not listen. So now we offer you nothing at all. Not because we are cruel, but because you left us no other choice." And so, a new order rose across. The stars. It did not wear robes. It did not vote. It did not beg for approval. It simply acted. In silence. And that silence became the loudest voice the galaxy had ever known. Asterisk.